Hey, what is going on, guys? Pete here with MixBetterNow.com and LearningToMix.com, and I am back in the saddle for a brand new Mix Critique Monday. Sorry, it's been a minute, guys. July's been a crazy month. Last couple weeks, to be honest, have been pretty crazy. Was down in Nashville for a little while hanging out. Was at NAMM and was hanging with some friends. Also doing some work down there. Was a really good time, but you guys know how summer is. Summer can be a little crazy. Was also just kind of not in the studio a whole lot, so forgive me, but nonetheless, it is August 7th. I'm trying to think, it's probably been about a month since I've done one of these, but you know, never fear, I am back and back in the saddle, like I said, so I'm excited to check out these mixes this week, okay? We've got mixes from, if I can see, we've got a mix from Stuart Wallace. It's called Got Your Love, and I think it's by Hosking is the name of the band. Sorry if I screwed that up, but sometimes you guys just put like blah, 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 and then it's all jumbled up, and it's not like band, : you know what I mean? So I'm doing my best here. Monolith by ITO, mixed by Stephen Rothe. Big thanks, Steven. We got Vintage by Pablo, mixed by Sonny Hosking. What's up, Sonny? How you doing, man? And then we have, last but not least, There Ain't No Place in Hell for Me by Down Ahead. And this is from, mixed by Felix Frankel, okay? So again, I hope you guys are all having an excellent start to your week. Since I have seen you last on a Mix Critique Monday, I hope you all have had an awesome month. I hope everybody's enjoying their summer and just having a good time, okay? Now, before we get into it here, I just want to make you guys aware, if you guys haven't heard yet, I just launched a new mixing membership website and community. It's called Learning to Mix, learningtomix.com. Just go ahead and click on the link in the description box below and go check it out. It's very cool. I'm really excited about it. It is essentially, you know, it's a great place for recording musicians and aspiring audio engineers. You know, you home studio guys out there. There's a lot of stuff. I don't want to really get into the nitty gritty. You can go over to the website, you can check it out, and if that's something that interests you, come join us over at Learning to Mix. It's a good time, and it is amazing value, if I may say so. So anyway, without further ado, we're just going to kind of kick this off and jump right into it here. First up is Got Your Love by Hosking, and this one is mixed by Stuart Wallace. So what I've done is I have mix tools in place, and just sort of like the last like one or two episodes that I've done, we've had some really hot mixes coming in where normally I would lower everything and use the K14 meter here to sort of get my levels, but what I'm doing is just bypassing that right now so that if I hear stuff or if I see stuff get too hot and we start clipping or I can hear it clipping, I will certainly let you know and we'll address that, okay? So we're going to start off here with Stuart's mix of Got Your Love.
Tonight.
Okay, so really, it sounds pretty good so far. My only main issue is that the lead synth is really loud in relation to everything else. The thing that's going da da na na na, that just it just kind of seems a little overwhelming to me. Like personally, I would like to hear that just kind of brought down in the context of everything else. But I like the way that the kick and the bass sound. I know in sort of like electronic music like this, it's that relationship is what is really important. Very similar element to hip hop where the kick and the bass is a very important fundamental. So let's keep going here. There was another lead synth in here that was just a little bit loud. It just seems like it's almost kind of sticking out in an unpleasant way. I don't want to say like a sore thumb, but just for me personally, it's something that I would pull down. There's one sort of synth part that's kind of doing like a real chirpy, like a little like flubbing sound, kind of spread out. That's a little loud for me too. I would pull that down. I really like the rise there. I like the build. I like how I could hear those piano stabs kind of coming up in terms of automation level. I think that sounds really sick. Great idea. And I love, the idea of automating the excitement, of a mix, of a song, any genre, doesn't matter. Cool. Really, really nice job. Don't really have much to say about that except just for those lead parts. A couple of those lead elements that I mentioned there, pull those down. But really good job on instrument separation. I thought everything sounded great. Nothing was too muddy. Nothing was too bright. Nothing really sounded out of place. And I thought it was a really good job. So well done, Stuart. Again, that was Got Your Love by Carl Hungus, mixed by Stuart Wallace. So thanks for that, Stuart. Appreciate it, man. We're going to keep going here. We have Monolith by ITO next. So we'll just slide this guy over. Now, I could already tell just based upon the waveform how this looks. This is kind of bricked out, so I'm guessing this is like really loud. You guys know how I feel about stuff that's just overtly loud, overkill. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. Not because I don't think it's important or not that it's not relative to stay competitive, but when we lose dynamic range, and I've said this before, to me, music just doesn't sound good like that. When you've got bricks going across just like this. I mean, if we look at Stuart's mix here, we can see the dynamics of the tune. I can see where it's really loud. I can see where it's really quiet. Here, I mean, I really don't know what I'm getting, but I'd be willing to bet this tune is probably uncomfortably loud. Now, again, this is, there's no rules about this. This is if you're mastering your own music or if you're sending out your mixes really hot to your mastering engineer, I mean, that's your decision if that's something that you want to do. But for me personally, I don't love it. I say it all the time. There's volume knobs on stereos and there's volume knobs on, on your interface for a reason, in your car for a reason. There's a volume knob on, You know, you want it louder on your phone if you're listening, turn it up. They exist. So anyway, off my soapbox, totally not bashing you, Steven, or anyone else, you know, who likes stuff hot, but I'd be willing to bet this is going to be really hot. Let's check it out. Monolith by ITO, mixed by Stephen Roth. All right, so it's already uncomfortably loud for me to listen to. I haven't touched the volume knob on my monitor controller here, and yeah, it's, you know, you can see we're clipping out, and I think this was around -5 RMS, which is like really, 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 really loud. The reason -5 RMS is really loud is because 0 dB FSU is your ceiling, right? I mean, that's as loud as it can go. So the higher we push that, the harder we push that, the less dynamic range there's going to be. If -10 is as loud as it is, or it's the average volume, that means there's 10 decibels of dynamic range we could have in a song, right? So it can get 10 dB louder, it can get 10 dB quieter, it can get 7 dB louder, it can get 7 dB quieter. So when we smush it like that, that means that, in my opinion, music sounds less exciting. It may be louder, but it sounds less exciting because there's no fluctuation in volume. There's nowhere for the music to go to get more dynamic. So that's just me. I'm gonna keep this volume for a second. I'm gonna have to pull it down just because it's kind of taking my head off right here. But let's you know, if it's loud for you guys, just turn your volume knob down for a second, and then I'm gonna use the mix tool to gain stage it. We're even hitting -4.9. And that's really, really loud. So my opinion here, Steven, is pull it back, man. Dial it back. If this was something that you had mastered, you know, you might have to have a conversation with your mastering engineer and say, look, dude, you're cooking my mixes. If this is something you're doing, I would highly urge you to pull it back. I mean, I see absolutely no benefit to this, and for me, it just makes music kind of difficult to listen to. It's very fatiguing. You know, even if you kind of turn down the volume knob a little bit, it still makes the music kind of sounds a little dull to me because there's not a whole lot of room for it to travel. So that's the last bit I'll say about it on this. But you know, and I'm not picking on you at all, Steven. It's you know, it's not one person. It's not 10. It's, you know, a lot of people are doing this, and you know, the loudness wars are real. I say this all the time, but my buddy Ian Shepard over at productionadvice.co.uk, go check him out. An amazing mastering engineer, talks all about the loudness wars and why pushing stuff this loud is basically hurting and ruining your music. So I'm gonna pull this down with the mix tool, and we'll keep listening. Okay, so a couple things that you know I think are really good is I like the way the drums sound. Now I'm sure with music like this, there's a whole lot of samples and you know triggering and stuff like that. I'm not like super hip on the metal thing and all the many subgenres of metal. Maybe this isn't metal. This might be hardcore. I don't know. So I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. I'm just like metal and R&B are like two things that I'm just not hip to. But some fundamental aspects of audio that I am enjoying is I like a lot of the definition that I'm hearing out of the drum kit. You know, the bass locking in with the kick is very cool. But there's a couple things that I would love to hear a little bit more of. I would love to hear some more bottom end. Not so much of a kick in sort of sound where there's a lot of attack, which in this you know is very popular to use, but a little bit more of that weighty kind of kick out mic thing going on where you know it kind of hits you in the chest when you listen to it loud. You know, just as a whole, it sounds like the mix was maybe high pass quite a bit. I would love to hear a little bit more beef on the bass and stuff like that too. Also with the singing vocal part, I feel like there could be a little bit more presence sort of coming out where it's audible, but it's sort of difficult to understand the lyrics for me. And part of that is definitely with EQing, you know, maybe opening up some top end. 8K shelves are great, you know, pushing a little 5K into a vocal, maybe even going lower, 2K, 3K. You got to be careful with 2 and 3K because you can get into some uncomfortable brightness in that, you know, in that part of the frequency range, okay? But you know, just brightening up the vocal a little bit there, even maybe pushing out a little 1K just to get some of that, I guess, enunciation would be cool to hear there. I think like in the screaming part, I think that works and it's at a nice place and everything like that. But let's keep listening. Okay, so I'm hearing a lot of, you know, low mid buildup. What I would guess would probably be around 500. Just some sort of some masking that occurs. I've talked about this a lot before because it happens a lot. As you get a lot of buildup, you know, it could be 300, 400, 500 hertz, 600 hertz, depending on the type of music and sort of where the instruments are playing certain things at. So let's try and pull out some. I'm guessing it's probably 500, but you'll hear what I mean in a second, where we just have quite a bit of this buildup that occurs from all the instruments maybe not being EQ'd and having certain things pulled out, and then it adds and they get summed together at the stereo bus. Check it out. Yeah, right around 500 there. Let me pull this back. Even back a little more. Gonna go back a little more. So there's a little bit of 300 going on there. If I was, you know, kind of doing a little bit of little mix bus EQ here, I'd probably pull out a little 300. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of notching to open it up with a pretty wide Q. So a little 300 there. Maybe we'll pull out a little 500. See how that sounds. So around 420 and 269 is where I just heard two spots that by pulling this out, I feel like it cleans it up quite a lot more, makes it breathe. And then what happens is as a byproduct of pulling these things out and by cleaning that up, it's going to add a lot more definition to the bottom and to the top. It's not going to give it a scooped thing, but it's just going to clear out some of that, a little bit of that boxiness. All right, cool. Really good job, Steven. I appreciate that. So, look, despite all the stuff that I said earlier, I think that was a really super mix for that genre. I think it sounds good. My biggest qualm with that was just the super loud volume of that. The little things that I was saying about wanting to hear a little bit of the bottom end, and you could pull out a little bit of the low mids there to clean it up. Yes, you could do that, but I'm not as concerned about those things as I am about just how loud it is and have it being really compressed and really limited and really smushed sounding. Compression, essentially, the more we compress, the more the audio goes like this. So, let's give ourselves those opportunities to have our music sound dynamic. That's the way that I look at that. So anyway, it was a really good mix though, and I really enjoyed that. So super good job. That was Stephen Rothe mixing Monolith by ITO. Big props. Great job. Next up, we got my man, Sonny Hosking. He is submitted his mix of Vintage by Pablo. And we'll just grab our mix tool in case it gets loud, get it ready to go. Let's take a listen.
Yeah. Welcome to the show. Introduction to my life. The good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah. We all champions tonight. It's for everyone in the good struggle. Here we go. Yeah. It's been a long ride. I crashed a few times. Had to learn how to fly. And I lost a few things, but I gained much more, and I feel so alive. I cooked up a few things, I tied up some loose ends and took a huge piece of the pie. As a reminder that I survived, and as a token to those who stay by my side, yeah. This goes out to them, this goes out to everyone who supported the fam. A big up to my fam for being my backbone when things hit the fan. Yeah, and to my rock, my queen, you're the reason why I'm a better me. You held me up when life got heavy, baby. You came and you rescued me, let's go. We celebrating life, the good struggle, we on tonight. We celebrating life, the good fight, we champs tonight, huh? Yeah, we celebrating life, the good struggle, we on tonight. We celebrating life, the good fight, we champs tonight, huh? Yeah, it's survival of the best, or should I say survival of the blessed. Cause every time I go to take a breath, I'm reminded of how impotent I wasn't on my mess. The problem was I was trying with my flesh, but that only got me face down on my chest. My pride wouldn't let me see what came next, so I traded in my soul in exchange for them checks.
Okay, so one thing I just want to point out, I feel like there's a little bit of low-end buildup, you know, even lower, you know, maybe 60, 100, 150, something like that. I'm hearing a lot of lows from the bass. And a little bit of build-up, a little bit of muddiness happening there. So I would go back, reassess your bass. Don't be afraid to put a high-pass filter on your bass. I put a high-pass filter on everything, right? Nobody ever says, hey, man, turn up that 20 or turn up that 30. Let me get some more 30. It just doesn't happen. And especially in modern situations of listening, where we're listening to a lot of music on our phones, on our tablets, on our laptops, and it's not always with really good listening devices. You know, let's be honest, Apple earbuds suck. You know, listening to music on your phone can be super convenient, but, you know, the audio quality sucks. So to make it a little bit pertinent to those listening devices, I always make sure that I just really tighten up my low end, and you can actually benefit your low end by rolling off the bottom. Just as an example, let's delete these guys right here. Got a high pass filter ready to go. I'm just gonna take a stab. I'm gonna say 40 hertz with a 12 dB per octave slope. Let's see if this tightens it up at all. I mean, it's really hard when I do this with an EQ, you know, on just almost as a mastering engineer would. It's really hard because it could be a plethora of things causing that low end to build up, right? Your kicks, drum resonance, your bass guitar, you know, there's horns in here, vocals, all of those things. You know, if there's keys, they cover a whole lot of ground on the frequency spectrum.
But now you can't hold me back. I'm back and I ain't looking back. I can see better after taking off the mask. I'm so focused, you can see the vision on the tracks. Yeah, see, this is more than rap, more than hip-hop, more than being a cool cat. I'm giving you a lot more boom in your back, cause I learned life is more about the truth than the facts.
See, for me right there, I think it's just a little bit of the bass fundamental is just a little hot. It's just a little loud poking out. I think it can be compressed a little bit. Another way to combat that would be to use a multi-band compressor and to really like zone in on the frequencies where the bass fundamental is sitting or where the bass is really hot and poking out. Those would be some good ways. The other thing that I hear that I feel could be improved upon is the vocal sounds a little bit muffled to me. Just a little bit, you know, it just kind of sounds like a little blanketed, so it's not very clear. So some subtractive EQ on the lows, on the low mids, even maybe on some of the mid range there could make that vocal pop a little bit more. You know, high pass filter, a little subtractive EQ on the bottom, maybe a little bit of a high shelf on top might make that shine a little bit.
We celebrate the life, the good struggle, we on tonight. We celebrate the life. The good fight, we champs tonight, huh? Yeah, we celebrating life. The good struggle, we on tonight. We celebrating life. The good fight, we champs tonight, huh? Yeah, throw your hands up in the sky and let me see you push your worries to the side. Cause life is short and we only passing by. Leave your drama at the door and wave your worries goodbye. We in the drama-free zone, so tell your homie leave the child play at home. There comes a time when you gotta say no, even if it means you gotta venture on your own. You can't be blind and leave it blind. You can't rewind, so it's time to look past your regret and find who you really are and get on your grind. Cause homie, you know you only live once, and wearing yellow on your shirt ain't enough. At some point, you gotta step in
Cool. Listen, overall solid job on that, Sonny. The two biggest issues I have, I would say, would be the muddiness and the masking quality that's happening over the vocal. I feel like that really, it just kind of, it made it an okay sounding mix as opposed to a great mix. The vocals gotta be awesome and super on point. Especially in a hip hop, more urban type song like that. Okay, right? Nice, bright, super shiny, very expensive sounding vocals are what we go for there. So I would definitely go back and mess around with a little bit of your subtractive EQ. Work, sweep around, see what you hear, pull some stuff out. Don't be afraid to get aggressive with it too. On the top end, a little bit of shine, little AK shelf, something like that. Push a little 4K. I think all those things would really help that. Now, just real quick, I just want to show you when I was talking about the bass before, some ways to maybe, kind of get some of it under control. I was saying use a multi-band compressor. So I pulled open my favorite multi-band here on the Pro MB. And so if we look at this, we'll just bypass this band real quick. Look at the frequencies on the spectrogram here, okay? And just check out where, you can literally see where the bass is peaking. Let's go back a little bit. Okay, so you could see where it's kind of peaking around almost about 100, maybe 80, something like that. So I would come in here, I would put a band on it, and if we solo it, that's another thing I love about this plugin is we can solo our bands that we're compressing. So this is the area that I would, that I'm hearing that's a little bit hype that I would want to get under control. So what I would do, just pull open a band and just pull it down. I'm not talking a crazy amount of compression or anything like that. Anywhere from a dB, 2, 3, 4 dB, something like that. Check it out. Back it up a little bit. So what that's essentially compressing is mainly two things. It's going to be the bass and the kick. Now, I quickly threw that up, but I wanted to show you some of the area that I would go back and I would focus on and I would spend a little bit of time, give it a little bit of attention. And I think that would really help you out. So aside from those things, really good job. I appreciate you sending that one in. Again, Sonny Hosking, Vintage by Pablo. Awesome. Last up, last, but never least, we have, hope I'm getting this right, There Ain't No Place in Hell for Me. And I think this is by the band Down Ahead. And this one's mixed by Felix Frankel. I think Felix is a first timer here, so we'd like to say welcome, Felix, and let's check this out. All right, real quick, just hearing a little bit of crunching on the audio. Now, like I said, I have the mix tool off. Let's go ahead and spread this out a little bit. Saw the clip light come on. I'm gonna start that over because there was just like one part that kind of got a little crunchy there. Let's see, I still have the K14 meter on. Let's go to peak RMS. Now, it's almost impossible for me to tell, like, you could be distorting that with the plugin, or, it could actually be clipping the channel in the DAW, maybe clipping the converters in the interface. I'm gonna listen one more time. Okay, so I don't see it lighting up the clip meter on the peak and RMS level here, so I'm just gonna assume it is what it is, and we'll keep going.
I have a pain in my head, thank you, girl. I really get a bit upset of this world. Oh no, I don't know where I can go. Try to figure out where I can be. My eyes are blind, but I still see. Heaven doesn't let me in, there ain't no place in hell for me. Heaven doesn't let me in, there ain't no place in hell for me. On a bluesy summer day, Jesus came to me. He said, cancel my prayers tonight, and you're free. What should I do? He said, rest your bones and charge your blame. Find that girl you even know her name. One day I'll launch you down to hell, that's my favorite game. One day I will launch you down to hell, that's my favorite game. Alright. Just for my resurrection, but I've had the witch, and she will burn in hell. She will burn in hell. She will burn in hell.
Right on, really cool tune. I like that a lot. Reminds me, like, I love the lo-fi dirtiness of it. Kind of reminds me of like a little Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds or something like that. But I love music like that where, and some of you might agree and some of you might think I'm crazy, but sometimes the feeling that music can evoke almost surpasses technical precision. What do I mean by that? I think the three most important things with any song that I listen to is, number one, how good is the song? Number two, how good is the performance of that song? And number three is, how well was the performance of that song captured? And that will dictate down the line how good a record is and how good mixes are and how good, all that stuff is. So my point is, I would rather listen to demos made on a tape recorder by my favorite bands of my favorite songs, right? Because to me, it's all about the song and it's all about vibe. Vibe is so important. But I'm going off on a little musical love tangent there. But I love music that makes you feel things and kind of is very specific about, how you want it to sound. So big props to Felix for that, because it was very much on one side and evoking a certain feeling and a mood, and I like that. But I know what did they say? Nothing matters what you say except after but. But a couple fundamental flaws that I'm hearing with this mix in particular. Okay, is that it is muddy and it is very blanketed. Now I know that's part of the lo-fi thing and that sound and all of that stuff, but you know, you can have music sound lo-fi and sort of grungy and a little, you know, sort of have some vibe to it without sounding blanketed. Okay, so for example, I just think there's certain things that can be done, like certain little elements that can be cleaned up, which would allow the fidelity of things to sort of kind of come through a little bit, yet not interfere with the overall vibe of the mix. Like with the vocal.
You even know her name. One day I'll hunt you down to hell. That's my favorite game.
There's just quite a bit of low mid buildup in certain places in this. So the best advice I could give would be to pick and choose your battles. I wouldn't say throw an EQ on the mix bus and scoop out a whole bunch of low mids or mid range on it or low end, because it might almost defeat, you know, the sonic purpose or the sonic goal you're going for here. But maybe pick and choose some of the things, like some of the guitars, some of the vocals. You know, let some things be dirty and sort of a little muddy sounding, because I think that's the point, but then kind of just maybe clean a couple other things up. You know, I mentioned Nick Cave. Go listen to Nick Cave's music, right? His stuff is very, you know, very specifically mooted, but at the same time, it's clear enough and lucid enough in the right places. I think I took a long way to say that, but that's kind of what I think. So, you know, cool song, love the vibe. Like I said, really cool. Thanks for submitting that, Felix. There Ain't No Place in Hell for Me by Down Ahead. So Down Ahead seems like a pretty cool. I would love to hear some more of the other stuff, but nonetheless. So right on, 4 cool mixes. Let's pull this back over this week. We had Got Your Love by Carl Hungus, mixed by Stuart Wallace. Monolith by ITO, mixed by Stephen Roth. Vintage by Pablo, mixed by Sonny Hosking. And then we just listened to There Ain't No Place in Hell for Me by Down Ahead, mixed by Felix Frankel. So huge thanks to the 4 of you for submitting. We've got obviously some more coming next week. And I just wanted to, again, apologize. I know I've been a little MIA the past couple weeks, but I'm sure you guys understand all that stuff. So, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate your time. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Head over to mixbetternow.com. If you guys haven't hopped on the email list yet, make sure you grab your free audio swag bag. You can click on the link below in the description box. Grab your free audio swag bag. When you sign up on the email list, I give you all kinds of free stuff like free multi-track sessions, free mix templates, free drum samples. There's free Bricasti reverb impulse responses. There's my top 20 free plugin list. There's all kinds of good stuff in there, so check that out. That way you'll also stay in the loop as to all the comings and goings at Mix Better Now. And also, if you haven't checked out my new Mix membership site yet, learningtomix.com, again, you can click on the link in the description box, head over there, check it out. David and I would absolutely love to have you. So, big thanks to the 4 of you guys. Thanks for everybody for watching. I hope you all have an awesome day, and I will catch you next time. See ya.